So picture this. It's Easter Sunday. Los Angeles is quiet. The city's asleep. But while everyone's sleeping, a team of what you can only call ghosts pulls off one of the most insane, high-tech cash heists in American history. Okay, let's dive into this masterclass in crime.
What was the prize? $30 million, all cash. Just let that number sink in for a second. We're not just talking about a heist here. This is a score that makes you a legend or a target for the rest of your life.
And this wasn't some simple smash-and-grab job. This money was snatched from a building designed to be completely impenetrable, a place where millions were supposed to be locked down tighter than anywhere else. So how on earth did they do it?
All right, first, you got to understand the target. This wasn't just any old building. This was GardaWorld, a facility that looked and was supposed to act like a modern-day fortress.
I mean, the odds were just stacked impossibly high. Just look at these layers of security. You've got razor wire, motion detectors, a whole web of infrared beams, and a direct line to the LAPD. And then there's the vault itself. 3 feet of solid, hardened steel, with 17, not one, not two, 17 separate locking systems. On paper, it was absolutely 100% impossible to breach.
Impossible, right? Well, not if you have the right plan, the right team, and, well, the right tech. So let's get into how this crew dismantled that fortress with just surgical precision.
This wasn't a rush job at all. It was a patient, calculated strike. The crew was sitting on a nearby rooftop for hours, just watching, waiting. The breach didn't even start until 4:30 in the morning on Easter Sunday. And check this out, this is the key moment. At 6:47 a.m., an LAPD patrol actually shows up for a false alarm, their fourth in 18 hours. And they clear the scene, completely clueless about what was happening just a few feet away. By dawn, the crew was gone, vanished.
So how did they beat every single defense? Well, they didn't just smash their way in. They used a plasma torch to cut a perfect surgical hole in the roof, muffling the sound with foam. Once inside, they moved like actual ghosts, timing their movements perfectly to slip past that whole maze of motion detectors and infrared beams. And then, the vault. No dynamite, no drills. Just a crazy, sophisticated quantum device that hacked its way through all 17 layers of security.
This really gives you a feel for the kind of tech we're talking about. When we say a quantum device, we mean a processor so powerful it can crack encryption that would take a normal supercomputer years to solve. In this case, it just peeled away those digital security layers that were designed to be unbreakable. I mean, this wasn't just a robbery. It was basically an act of cyber warfare.
You just can't make this moment up. It's pure dramatic irony. While the crew inside is probably holding their breath, a patrol car is right outside. And the officers? They're talking about their Easter dinner plans, holiday ham recipes, totally oblivious that the biggest cash heist in the city's history is going down right under their noses. They clear the call as routine and just drive away.
So, the crew disappears into the LA sunrise. But the story? Oh, the story was just getting started. Let's jump to the shocking discovery on Monday morning.
I mean, can you imagine being that first employee to walk in on Monday? You see the massive vault door just open, which should never ever happen. The air is dead still. You step inside, and your whole world just falls apart. It's not just empty, it's a void. Where there used to be pallets stacked with millions, there's nothing. Just some scattered plastic wrapping. $30 million has just vanished into thin air.
Okay, so the crime is discovered, and a massive federal investigation kicks off. But the FBI realizes pretty quickly that they aren't hunting for your average criminals. Nope, they're hunting for ghosts.
The crime scene was just baffling. The evidence didn't point to brute force at all, but to this incredible level of sophistication. The cuts in the building were surgical. The vault's locks were untouched. And here's the kicker. Investigators found signs of military-grade signal jamming. This means the crew created this bubble of electronic silence around the building, making it blind and deaf. No alarms, no cameras, nothing could get out. And on the traffic cams, black SUVs just appeared and disappeared in known blind spots, way too perfectly to be a coincidence.
GardaWorld thought they had top-tier security, but they were completely outmatched. It wasn't even a fair fight. Look at this comparison. They had standard alarms, the crew had military-grade jamming. They had security cameras, the crew had tactical blind spot mapping that exploited every single hidden angle. A hardened steel vault versus quantum hacking. The facility wasn't just breached, it was completely and totally outclassed.
Faced with this level of precision, the investigators all started to think the same thing.
As one consultant on the task force put it, you just don't pull something this sophisticated off from the outside alone. This had to be an inside job.
And wouldn't you know it, as the FBI dug into GardaWorld, they found the absolute perfect environment for a crime like this to grow. Turns out, there were other times money had gone missing, and it was all just swept under the rug. Employees apparently ignored security rules all the time. One former manager even told agents they were told to move funds around to cover shortfalls before audits. The company culture wasn't about fixing problems. It was about hiding them.
So the crew pulled it off. They were smarter, better equipped, and they totally exploited a flawed system. But here's the thing. Pulling off the heist is only half the battle. The real question is, can they actually get away with it?
Now comes the next massive challenge. What in the world do you do with 600 pounds of cash? You can't just go out and start buying mansions and Lamborghinis. You have to launder it, and that's a process just as complex and maybe even more dangerous than the heist itself. You have to completely erase the money's criminal past.
The crew is probably using a very sophisticated mix of channels to make that money disappear, funneling it into real estate, hiding it in offshore accounts, maybe converting it to crypto, or washing it through shell companies. They're not just spending the money, they are basically transforming it through a kind of financial alchemy.
But you know, history shows us that even the most perfect crimes tend to unravel. And it's usually not the tech that fails, it's the people. Greed, betrayal, paranoia, these are the very human things that just destroy conspiracies. All it takes is one person talking to the wrong person, one flashy purchase, just one tiny slip-up. And with $30 million, the target on your back is absolutely enormous. So, that leaves us with the ultimate question as the hunt goes on. This crew beat the system with incredible technology and flawless planning. But now they face a totally different enemy, themselves. In the end, what's going to be their downfall? The relentless pursuit of the FBI, or the simple, predictable flaws of human nature? The perfect crime remains perfect for now.